Hey, everybody. Chat with Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Sunday evening. Time for some Sunday night live chat. Got a great group here on YouTube already ready to go. Let's see who is all here tonight. Glenn is on with us. Charles is ready to go. 73 Buick Man. Let's see. Austin's back. Bill Wagaman's on with us. Matt's here. Ken's here. Frank's with us. Kevin L. made it. Glad you guys all keep coming back week after week and making this what it is. Looks like we are connecting on Facebook as well. As always, we are live on two formats, both YouTube and Facebook. And Tractor Mike is in the house tonight. Yes, Tractor Mike is here and ready to go. You guys will all get to meet him in less than 2 weeks. So he definitely plans on being here. JP's on. Randall with the Nut Farm. Jim's on. David W. is here. Michael Glagola's with us on Facebook. And I do have a package for you, Michael. I haven't had time to dig your address out. That last payment you sent didn't have an address, but I do have a small box here for you. I just got to try to find your address from an old payment, Michael. Scott Lame's here. Randy's on. Pete's ready to go. So it looks like we got a good night scheduled again tonight. Going to have a lot of fun. Let's get things started off right now with a Hudson badge and get things rolling. Kevin made it tonight. What the heck? Let's just do a double whammy right off the bat with the Auburn badge. Oh, and while we're at it, we got the big Kahuna Auburn badge as well. Does that mean chug or what? You know, when we pull out the big Auburn badge? Lee made it. Brian Dispatch. I have not seen anything yet, Brian. So I haven't not gotten anything as of yet. Double W is here. Perfect, Michael. Appreciate that. So I can get that on the way to you. You had a horn button that was still hanging that last payment got. So as always, before we get rolling too deep into things, a little bit of quick housekeeping. Autocorrect, please double check your comment for autocorrect to take over. If autocorrect changes your comment into something that I can't understand, I will have to skip it. I do miss some comments, but I do sure try to catch most of them. But if I can't make it out, then I do have to skip it. So the Nobody Show Facebook page, if you are on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. That's what happened to Big Job last week. I saw his comments on the show page a couple days later when I was on that Facebook page. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page to the Nobody Show Facebook page. If you're on the Nobody Show YouTube channel, you're great. I can see all that right here. The Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page, I can see that on the other screen. But the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments because this is a shared video. So please bear that in mind. If you want to just hang out over there and watch, you're perfectly fine. Trolls, we occasionally do get trolls on here. You guys make sure they know they are not welcome. I ignore them because they're trying to screw up our chat and trying to break my concentration. So I ignore them. You guys do a great job of taking care of them, and I appreciate that. Super chats are great. Ads, we definitely have been fighting ads lately. Unfortunately, that is the nature of the beast. That is the system, and we can't control it. The only thing I can control is how fast I want them fed. So I just click a moderate level. But they're going to do it. There's no way we can not stop it. So I try to keep the frequency down to a moderate instead of high. And that's the only option it gives me. So we've got to deal with them. If we get a bunch of them, you guys let me know. And we'll back off for a few seconds. If we're in the middle of an auction and everybody gets ads, we will stop the auction where it's at on the timer. And if it is at less than 30 seconds, we will restart with a full 30 seconds to wrap that particular item up. So please bear that in mind. Throw a share out there. Let your friends know that we are on and rolling tonight if they want to jump in and join the chat. And let's see. Numero uno, number one is here. Alpo Corral. Now you got me on that one, number one. Mark's Garage is here. Jeff from Ottawa. Scout's with us on Facebook. Glad you guys keep swinging by and hanging out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was just about as windy today as it was yesterday. So, fortunately, it didn't blow away. So, anyway, lots of stuff happening. Obviously, less than 2 weeks away from the gathering. We'll get into some more of that here shortly. But a few other things I wanted to touch on as we get rolling tonight. Some things that were talked about and stuff. If you caught the short on earlier this week, the 58 Impala did leave. Oh, autocorrect. Okay. The 58 Impala is at its new home. Great guy. Paul picked it up the Monday morning. super excited about it. Everything he wanted in one, the right colors that he wanted. He said, shoot, he'd have taken a 283 car just to find that color combination. So for this car to be that that color combination, as well as being a 348 with 3 deuces, power steering, power brakes, Wonder Bar, he was ecstatic. So it definitely got to the right place, and that's what's important, and that's what matters, because that car will have a new life now with Paul and in his stewardship. Said his dad loved 58s, he loves 58s, and couldn't be more excited about the car. So have not touched the plane, Bill. It just sitting out back till I have time to mess with it. Bill Disk is here. Kenny Peterson's on. But at least the 58 Impala did find the right place and the right home. Something else that's been discussed a little bit, T-shirts. Where are we at on T-shirts on this style? Because what I've got left of this is what I've got. I've got a new one being designed. I don't know when I will have the new design. He thought he would get to it. I sent him pictures of a few cars. Adam's here with us. Some ideas that I had a couple of weeks ago. He said it could be a month or so, because I should have sent him this stuff in November, but of course I didn't think about it then. Because coming into car show season and things like that, he does a lot of car show event shirts and stuff like that. So he said he would get on it when he had a minute, but there's been a lot of questions about what is left of these. I have a few grays. Most of them are black. At this point, oh, no, the plane didn't move in the windstorm. Nope, it was good. At this point, I have all sizes left. However, 2X, 3X, I've got like 2 or 3 left. Medium, I've got like 2 or 3 left. Large and extra large, I reordered those last year, so I'm okay on those by like a couple dozen. I don't have like 100 of anything left, but I've probably got a couple dozen large and extra large, so we're good there if anybody wants those. But 2X, 3X, and medium, what I've got is what I've got. So if there's something you guys want on shirts, be sure to let me know. I did throw one in your box, Kevin, so I saw that on your check. So I think that was I think you wanted a 2X, so that was one of those all gone already. Yeah, we'll put Kansas on the new shirts. But there was a lot of questions about that last week, so that's what I've got. If some of you guys want to grab some, was it an XL? Okay, I'll have to look. Maybe that's what I grabbed. But I've got XLs covered, so that's not a problem. But the 2X, the 3X, and the medium, there's just a couple left of each. And if you guys want to pick them up on April 20th, that's fine. But if you want to lock one in, make sure to get with me ahead of schedule just in case. So we'll see how all that comes together. But that's what I've got on shirts since that came up last week. I did go through them because I knew I was getting pretty thin on some of them. Lance is here with us on Facebook. Alex here on Facebook. But this shirt I will not run. I will not make another run of these. I may use this truck. May use the truck and change it a little bit. But what I've got of these shirts is going to be it, and I'm not going to run another batch of these. I've done 2. I've had 2 runs of them done, and that's going to be about it. So anyway, something else that number 1 brought up last week that was I thought was a great idea. I don't know if we're going to quite get there or not, but he's like, let's push for 20,000 subs by the 20th. So we're 751 away. We got a long ways to go for a couple weeks, but if you guys can help out with that, share the videos around, share them on your Facebook pages, send links to your friends, especially if we do a car that they may like, or if you're in certain groups of certain vehicles on Facebook that we've done videos on, throw those videos around and help us out and spread it around. It's a great idea. Number 1, I'm all for it, but we'll see if we got a lot of boogieing to do for a little less than 2 weeks, but we're still shooting for that 20,000 subs by the 20th. Pioneer Village. We talked about this a little bit Tuesday night. Randall with the Nut Farm got his letter. I'm going to share with you what I got. They just sent me 1 card. Now, Leo should be getting one of these, and I know Randall said he did get his. Another letter from Pioneer Village, and I'm going to read some of this to you. 65 to 68 Mustangs. I've got a little bit of stuff. So, on this letter, it says, I want to thank you for adopting several vehicles, including the 1903 Ford, on behalf of the Nobodies of Nobody show. I hope that you enjoy all the wonderful benefits of being a Harold War Pioneer Village member. Your period of adoption is through March 2025, after which you will receive an option to renew. So we've talked about that. I believe number one already brought that up, to start rounding up a couple bucks every month or every purchase, be it auction, t-shirt, raffle. Start rounding them up now, and by next March, we'll more than have these 4 vehicles covered and maybe be able to do a 5th one. So that runs through March of 2025. We're excited to have you as a valued member in our organization. The museum wouldn't truly be the same without your invaluable contribution. Being a member of the Harold Wart Pioneer Village grants you access to our amazing collection, and you can stop and visit your vehicle at any time. As you may be aware, the museum hosts many festivities throughout the year, including Christmas on the Prairie, Pioneer Village Days, and our annual car show. Weekly scheduled activities include broom making, blacksmithing, and walking stick making, hosted by local artisans. We hope you invite your family and friends to visit the museum and see how America grew. Now, this is a statement. This next one is a statement from Harold Warp when they put this museum together. And they've got it in here in big black bold letters down here at the bottom. And it's so true, and it's the basis of Pioneer Village, basically. For thousands of years, man lived quite simply. And you figure the basis of Pioneer Village goes back to, I think, 1830 to basically 1950 when they started this, when this quote was made. And you think about that, 1830. 1830 years, before, and then you got BC before that. So literally thousands of years, man lived very simply. Pappy's here. For thousands of years, man lived quite simply. Then, like a sleeping giant, our world was awakened. In a mere 120 years of eternal time, man has progressed from open hearths, grease lamps, and ox carts to television, supersonic speed, and atomic power. And you think about that puts some things into perspective. You think about what's happened now, basically in the last 200 years, because now we're looking closer to 2030 than 1950. Devin's here. My wife might like to take a trip. Yeah, there's tons of history. And like I said, it's not just cars. We focus on the cars and trucks on here. But there's so much more stuff there. Just like we did the video on the Valentine Diner, but I can tell everybody, toasters and trains, they've got it in chronological order. So, you've got it. You've just got to see it. If in any way, shape, or form you can get to Pioneer Village, you've got to see it. And maybe we plan a trip there later this year as a group or something like that. That might be a possibility as well. That would be awesome, Kevin, if we double the amount of cars by next year. That would be super cool if we did 8 vehicles with our name on them. Sincerely, Will Escarza, who is their new director, which is who I've been working with. Now, and I believe Randall got one of these, and Leo should be getting one as well. They just sent me one. They didn't do. Pappy's fighting the ads already. Randall said he did get one of these. They did not send me 4 of them, which is fine. I mean, they don't need to waste time doing this on everything, on all the vehicles. But they send you a little membership card. Harold Wart Pioneer Village. Adopt a vehicle. And it has your car and your name on it. And they just put my name on this one. So, but this is just a sample, basically, since we did these as a group. But I want to share it with you to show you what they are doing in case you want to do one on your own. If you know other people that want to support it. And Randall said he did get his, but they send out these little cards. This one, remember, we did the pair of the Cadillac and the Ford in the front window, both designed by Henry Ford. This one has the 1903 Cadillac on it. Name, vehicle information. So, Randall would have gotten one with the 1948 Chrysler Town & Country convertible on it that we just posted the video on the other night. And then on the back, it just has, the 70th anniversary of Pioneer Village. So, that's what you get when you do if you wanted to do one on your own. And, we can do a lot of various things. Obviously, I would love to be able to at least maintain what we've done next year. If we can't, that's fine. We will continue doing whatever we can. If we can do more, we will do more. And if it works out to where we do a nobody's gathering up there later this year, maybe next year, who knows? I think that would be awesome. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's always a possibility, but I wanted to share with you what they are sending out for the adoptions for the people that do step up and adopt a vehicle. Dennis is here. All right. Moving on to the gathering. Less than 2 weeks away, 1 week from this coming Friday, we're going to start seeing you guys show up here in Great Bend, Kansas. So we're making some progress. Some things happened here just at the end of the week. Pete has not sent out an updated email because I haven't gotten with him on it, because some of this stuff just came together late Thursday night and into Friday. So we started talking about late Thursday night, Friday afternoon, we hammered out some more details on it. So here's the outline kind of for the weekend, and I'll get with Pete. We'll get this out on a formal email here, hopefully in the next day or two. So obviously some of you guys are coming in on Friday, which is awesome. Friday afternoon, Rico is coming in early. He plans on being here late morning, early afternoon. He plans on coming out to the yard and helping me finish stuff up. Hopefully I've got most things in order and we're just kind of roughing out the layout for Saturday, but that's kind of the plans. Pete will be in mid-afternoon, hopefully, and hopefully we're about done by then, but we'll see how things are going. So we will all congregate at the brewery Friday night. Tacos del Sol food truck will be there. Gambino's Pizza is right next door. You can literally order a pizza at Gambino's and bring it over to the brewery if you wanted to do that. They let you bring Tractor Mike says leave Jess. Rico has to leave Jess at home. So I understand, Adam, that happens. I know it's not feasible for some of you guys to make it. I'm flattered the ones that are coming, but I perfectly understand that it's not feasible for some of you guys to make this trip. So Friday evening, just plan on congregating there. If the brewery opens at 3, which even though number one can't make it, it's even still upsetting, but hey, you get that place opened up, ready to go. So if Rico and I are still hung up out at the yard, Charles, some of you guys remember, Charles Fitz was in here on a live Sunday night about a month ago. Charles is going to manipulate his schedule so he can be down there in that 3 to 4 o'clock window that day. So if we're not there, Charles will plan on being there. They are giving us the little party room they've got, which is not huge, but they did reserve that for us. Ryan Fairchild does hang out with us on here a little bit. He owns the brewery, so he's treating us really well. Tony's here with us. So I do have a small Nobody Show banner. I will try to get that to Charles so that he's got it down there. Maybe he can tape it on the door or something. If you come in the front door of the brewery off of Main Street, as soon as you walk in the door, if you walk straight to the west, you will walk right into the little party room. If you park in the parking lot on the back side of the brewery and you come in the back door, the party room is literally right as you get to the brewery. You'll walk down a long hallway past the bathrooms, and the party room is right there as you walk into the brewery. So super simple to find. It's not a huge place. It'll be real easy for everybody. So that's what's going to happen Friday. And Friday night's going to be, if you want tacos, that's fine. And Lumpy's Sports Bar is actually across the parking lot out the back door. If you wanted to run over to Lumpy's for a burger, you're always more than welcome to do that too. So we've got all those food options Friday evening. Saturday morning, I'm going to ask you guys to shoot for around 9 o'clock at the yard. That's going to give me time to get out there, get the buildings opened up. If there's a few things that we've got to finish shuffling around that morning, if I've got to move anything out, I'm hoping that the weather's clear and I can leave the loader and some of the other vehicles outside Friday night. and have most everything set up. If we get a rainstorm or something Friday night, and I have vehicles inside, I'll have to move those out. But it shouldn't take much, I'm hoping. So that's kind of what we're tentatively looking at Saturday morning, if you can be out there roughly around 9. And obviously we're going to, like we've talked about, we're going to do some door prizes. We're going to do some raffles. We're going to have silent auctions, and there's going to be a lot of stuff for sale. So, and I've got some super, super cool custom pieces being built that are supposed to be done. I've already got a couple of them, and I've got one more that is in process that I think is going to be here. That, yeah, we definitely don't need any tornadoes, that's for sure. So I've got some super, super cool custom pieces that are going to be available for purchase, as well as a lot of other stuff. So anything you guys see, all you got to do is ask me. Gas pumps, Coke machines, cans, signs, and parts, things like that. So going to be a lot of things going on that day. Then hopefully, depending on what you guys do, I mean, some of this is going to depend on you. Mid to late afternoon, if you guys are pretty much wrapping up, we will probably do the door prize drawings and silent auctions, winners, things like that, somewhere in the 2 to 3 o'clock window, depending on how things shake out. So keep that in mind. And then once we wrap up out there, we will run back to town, and we can come here to where I'm at right now at my shops in town. And if you want to see the office, that's fine. Gray Kitty over there. I don't know what we're doing with Gray Kitty. She might freak out, so we're gonna have to be real careful with her. I know you guys want to see her, right, Gray Kitty? Hey, Gray Kitty. Gray Kitty. Come here, dummy. Yes, you. Talking to you. So I know you guys want to see her. We're just gonna have to be real careful that she doesn't freak out with too many people around. So then after we get down here, depending on time, we can run out to Dad's and look at his cars as well. So that's kind of a rough plan for the day. And then back to the brewery Saturday night, because they got Flatlanders stone-fired pizzas, which are amazing. I love those. They are. Just get the Wilbur, shut up, and eat it. That's all you got to do. It's like a flatbread pizza with, I don't know, pepperoni, bacon, sausage. Yeah, just order a Wilbur, get a beer, and you're golden. Trust me on this one, guys. Trust me. You can't go wrong with a Wilbur. They've got other pizzas. I don't even know what they are. Never even considered one. I got the Wilbur the first time. It's all I've ever ordered. It's all you ever need to know. Wilbur, Saturday night, Flatlanders at the brewery, Wilbur. So, but yes, that's a good point, Randall. I do need to put a couple more screws in that frame so that she doesn't walk off. So, all right. That's kind of what we got planned there. Now, lunch on Saturday. Obviously, we're all going to be at the yard. And I was trying to get a food truck lined out. I talked to one. They were going to be out of town that weekend. I still didn't have anything lined out. Well, Thursday night, about once a month, I got a good friend. I stop by and chat with him about once a month. Rusty Oakey's here. And him and I get along great. He's a very progressive guy, got a lot of good ideas, likes to make things happen. And him and I are talking. He says, "How's things coming for the gathering?" And I said, "Well, pretty good." He said, "I ain't got a food truck lined out for lunch yet." And I said, "I thought I had one and they couldn't make it." And I said, "I'm trying to find another one. I was going to go check with this one or that one." And he goes, "You don't want to do that." I was like, "Well, I'm running out of options. I mean, I got to do something." No problem. Sounds good, Rusty Oakey. So he says, so I was like, I got to do something. We don't want everybody running back to town. That'd be a massive pain. Looks like we got some ads coming on here. All right, we'll give it a few seconds here. We got ads. You guys let me know when we're clear here and ready to go. All right, looks like we're clearing back up. Alex said maybe next year. That'd be great, Alec. Hopefully it works out. Yeah, Kenny wants us to ship him a Wilbur. So, okay, so lunch. So I'm talking to my good friend Mark. Kevin's Rust is here. He says, "We don't want those." And there was there was a couple food trucks that said this one. He goes, "I don't know if you want that food truck." I said, "I know it's not my favorite, but I'm running out of options." He's like, "We can do better." I said, "Well, maybe we can," but I said I thought about doing burgers or dogs or something, and he said, "But I said it's the time thing." I said, "I'm hoping you guys are enjoying yourselves, and you're gonna have questions for me about cars, and it's just a time thing." And my buddy says, Mark says, "Well, I'll come flip burgers or whatever." I said, "This isn't your deal. I don't expect you to take half of your Saturday to come take care of this." And he said, "We can figure something out." And he goes, "What about brisket?" I said, "Well, brisket sounds amazing, but," I said, "Mark, this is not your deal. I don't expect you to take over this, to have to feed all these guys." And he says, "Actually," he says, "brisket's super simple." And my buddy Mark loves to cook. He's got, like, depending on the event, he's got like 7 different grills and smokers depending on what he needs to make for what. So he loves this stuff. Gary's back. So Facebook finally let him back on. Well, I'm glad you made it back, Gary. So my buddy Mark says, "Okay, that's what I'm going to do." I said, "What's that?" I said, "I don't expect you to do this." He goes, so he said, "Well, here's what I'm going to do." He said, "I'm smoking brisket. I'll throw them on Friday night." He goes, I can't remember. He started rattling off how long he smokes them, to what temperature he smokes them. He said, when they're right, he said, they crumble. I throw them in my smoker. I turn it on. I monitor it. I take them out. I put them in a roaster. It falls apart. And then we've got sandwiches or just brisket, whatever you want. I said, "Well, I'll get some chips." Yeah, they said, "Yeah, you get chips." He said, "I'll make some beans too." I said, "You don't have to do that." He said, "I might make some other stuff." I said, "You don't have to do any of this, Mark." I said, "I'm not asking you to do anything." My buddy Mark says, You didn't ask me to do anything, but I'm telling you that we're having smoked brisket for lunch." And I was like, so I really couldn't argue with that. So I'm hoping you guys are going to be good with smoked brisket for lunch. I don't think it's going to be too tough to go, pretty hard to go wrong with smoked brisket for lunch at the yard on Saturday. So, Mark's a great guy, and him and I get along really well. So he insisted on doing this this smoked brisket for all of us. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he twisted my arm. I didn't really figure. I don't see so far. I have yet to see a comment that says smoked brisket sounds like a bad idea. And in fact, with this group, I don't think you would probably want to say the smoked brisket sounds like a bad idea. So anyway, we talk about that Thursday night. We figure that out, which is awesome. And then, like we talked about on last week, I wanted to do something for breakfast, just something quick, grab and go here at the shops in town. So as you guys are leaving town Sunday morning, we were going to do maybe some eggs or sausage or something just quick and easy. If you want to stop and chat for a while before you left, if you want to stop and just grab something and go. Oh, sweet. Kevin's bringing some barbecue sauce. Oh, speaking of which, I brought that up too. I asked my buddy Mark, I said, "You want to give me some, you want to get barbecue sauce?" He goes, No, you don't go buy barbecue sauce. He goes, "I got barbecue sauce." So yeah, Kevin can bring his too. That'll be cool too. But he said he's got barbecue sauce. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So Friday afternoon, Mark calls me and he says, "All right, I've been thinking about this." Like I said, he's got all these cookers, all these smokers. He goes, "I got this one cooker that I haven't used in a couple years and I need to use it. So I'm going to bring that down Sunday morning and we can whip up this and we can whip up that. And we'll do some eggs and sausage, maybe have some tortillas for breakfast burritos." And I mean, he's got the whole thing planned out. So yeah, I know. Same here. So my good friend Mark's going to help us out with lunch on Saturday, as well as help out with the going away breakfast Sunday morning. Billy Bowman stopped by. Now, I've got one other surprise. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but, and this is another reason why the head count was, Mark is married. There is one other thing that I was curious about, and this is, you guys aren't going to see this until you get here, But one of the reasons I was very important that I knew how many were coming. Yeah, that'd be nice if Pepsi and Milwaukee wanted to sponsor us. I think it would be worth coming just for the food, Tim. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I wanted to do something special. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be, but I have ordered them. And I have ordered a special commemorative piece for every attendee. It's not nothing big and fancy. Don't get too excited. But I wanted something unique, something just for this event. So I've got them ordered. There's only a couple of extras just in case we have a couple guys that their schedule looks like they can make it at the last minute, but literally only a couple of extras. And they are strictly for, and I don't want to be mean like this, but they are attendee only. It's something special for the guys that are making the effort to come here. They're not available for sale. I didn't make a big run of them. I made enough for the people that are coming with a couple of extras in case we had a couple of late ones here. So they are going to be attendee only, and we will give those out Saturday morning at the yard. I think it's a cool piece. I hope you guys dig it. But it is a special inaugural event, first annual Gathering of the Nobodies commemorative edition piece that I have ordered that will be one for every attendee that's here that day. So just to keep that in mind. So something else kind of exciting. Really want to make this a special deal. You guys are putting this kind of effort in to come and be part of this. So I definitely want to do my part and try to make it a special event and fun and interesting for all of you. So Sam's here with us. So anyway, that's what's happening. Less than 2 weeks away. I will get with Pete, make sure we have this all updated on the email. And so that you guys have all that in front of you. And like I said, it's not something huge or fancy, but it's unique and it's different. And it's related to what we do here. So I think it's cool. And I hope you guys dig it. But definitely looking forward to less than 2 weeks. 12 days? 12 days you guys will be here. So awesome. Can't thank you guys enough for your effort in making this happen. And I understand you guys, some of you can't make it. I understand the logistics of it, the timing of it. It happens. I fully understand that. I'm thrilled that some of you are coming, and the fact that even you guys that can't make it are so supportive of it and excited about it, and hopefully plan on being here next time. John's here with us. John, hopefully still planning on driving in Saturday morning, I believe is what John's plans are. So yeah, I ain't telling nobody nothing. So, but it's going to be cool. And it's going to be fun, and it's going to be awesome. And you guys it's thanks to you guys is what's making this happen. So, and I know a lot of you guys wanted to be here. I really do. That's why I appreciate the support of even the guys that can't make it. It's great. So, but anyway, who's singing the national anthem? Actually, I had a Prius and I crushed it last year. I guess I should have kept that so we could blow it up. Didn't think about that. I did get a Camry in that I've been using for a trash can. You saw that on the walk around. But if I blow it up, then I've already got a bunch of trash dumped in it. If I blow it up, it'll be a bigger mess. I love the idea, though. So, onward and upward, moving into tonight's chat. New inventory this week. What came in? 1951 GMC 1.5-ton farm truck. Martin's here. Pretty complete old truck, just rough. Glass has been knocked out of it for years. But what's interesting about it is it has a factory flatbed on it, but it's a Ford flatbed. It has a factory Ford flatbed with the Ford script across the back of it. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that before. So thought that was kind of unique. So whoever bought this truck, maybe they bought it new and they had a Ford truck prior to that. And they just swapped beds. I don't know. So that came in. I picked up another truck this week that was newer. Didn't really think much about it when I bought it until I unloaded it and kind of looked at it. It's a 2004 model Dodge. And I got to look, like, that truck's 20 years old now. I didn't really think about that when I bought it. Just bought it, loaded it up, and hauled it out to the yard. So that's some of that stuff where there again, I'm trying to think ahead. Is that something somebody's going to want pieces off of 5 or 10 years from now? No, it's a half ton, just a 4.7 half ton. And then I also got to thinking, if they continue to push electric vehicles at the extent that they are people going to start driving this stuff longer and using some of this stuff from the 2000s for a lot more years, and even continue to repair them to avoid, if this push to electric comes through, which isn't feasible for a lot of people, are some of these vehicles going to be used for much, much longer periods of time than what has been typical of the American consumer over the last 20 or 30 years? So I got to thinking about that too when I got that. Oh yeah, Tractor Mike could get that Toyota blown up. There's no doubt about it. Perfect example, Rusty Okie. He'd already rather have something of that era versus his 2015. So, there again, you can never guess ahead, but thinking ahead of what may or may not be out there in the future that people are going to need parts for. I like that. I actually like that, number one. That is really good. Tractor Mike got an NWI, no buddying while intoxicated. I think Tractor Mike could probably confirm that, especially a couple weeks ago when they had, eight cases of dead soldiers that night. Whew. That night was a good time. Next morning, probably a little tough, but. And that's what I'm thinking, Jeff, is that what's going to happen? Just like, and you're right, Buick, man, gas and diesel is more practical. Are people going to continue to repair some of this stuff? That late 90s, early 2000s stuff was pretty darn decent. It was dependable. It's fuel injected. It started and drove good, ran good, got decent mileage. Some of this stuff over the last 5 or 10 years has gotten almost so complicated that it creates more problems. So that's what I'm thinking about when I look at some of this stuff from the 90s and 2000s. Is this something that I ought to go ahead and grab and put in the row for a while and see what happens? So thought I'd mention that one too, because there again, is that a potential for the future? Could be. I don't know. So, and then I got one more in Friday. I picked up the 68 Camaro Friday. So hopefully we'll be getting a video on it soon. It is rough. It is just a rolling shell, no motor, no tranny, no interior. So the 68 Camaro, I did get the 68 Camaro picked up as well. And that's right. Pete has done an amazing job, number one. Thanks for giving him a shout out. And that's something else I want you guys to appreciate is Pete's put a lot of effort into this to make this work for all of us as well. So huge shout out to Pete for helping out. And there again, Tim, perfect comment and perfect, exactly what I'm thinking up here is some of this stuff going to be worth holding on to for that. Mike is already claiming he needs a ride Friday night, and Saturday day. So we are going to need somebody to haul Tractor Mike to the hotel, but a lot of you guys are staying at the same hotel, so I'm hoping we can make that work. Nate, already seeing in the diesel world pre-emissions trucks, and that's another great point, Nate. We have been seeing that. Pre-emissions diesel trucks are worth just as much as a late model truck because of all the crap on the new ones that they're fighting. So and there again, it's a perfect way to put it, Nate. I hadn't thought about that. I've seen that, but I hadn't thought about putting that together with what I was thinking. But you're totally right with what we see. And on semis, it's really tough because semis have to be rolling to make that payment every month. And there again, the clean, original, low mileage ones that are pre-emissions are breaking the bank. And I think we're going to see it on farm equipment too. Tractor Mike probably has a little bit of insight to that. Trust me, I know when Tractor Mike's having trouble because I hear about it, about how some of those computers and electronics and stuff screw him up. So yeah, and that's right, Kevin. A 98 with 117,000 is just getting broke in. 90s crew cab Ford. I saw it. There was one on a local classified site here last week. 97 silver and white crew cab stroker. I can't remember what the miles were, but it wasn't terrible. I think it was around 100,000. Good God, it was a good looking truck. Holy cow, that was a good looking pickup. 97 stroker crew cab long bed 4-wheel drive, white with silver inserts. Beautiful pickup. So, yep, and that's Tractor Mike. Yep, yeah, see, I knew he would agree with that. So, who knows? We'll see. But I'm starting to think that on some of that stuff from that era. Because even though they're going to be older vehicles, I think we're going to still see more of them on the road than we would normally on some of this, than what we've seen in past cycles. 287 on a power smoker. Yeah. Z-Bear's on. Had a great chat with Z-Bear the other night. Thanks for calling. Z-Bear, another pinstriper in the house. That's an idea too. Donate it to Pit and they drop a King Kong in it. Here we go. So anyway, that catches us up on new inventory. How about a promo model? How about some badges and caps? And some story time. And we're going to talk about the raffle, and we're going to sell a whole bunch of cool stuff. And we're going to find out what was going on in the auto industry in 1913, all coming up yet. So, I think it's more, actually. Believe it or not, it was more. And I still think it was a good buy. That pickup in 97 was probably, when I bought my 02 Cummins, because I ordered that truck, and I think that truck stickered for 36 or 37, and I employee purchased it, and it was 32. And I've still got that truck. So that 97, I bet that 97 was around 30 grand, and they've got it priced at 40. And I think it's a good buy at 40 for as good as it looks. I think that truck's worth every nickel of 40 grand from what, at least from what it looked like in the pictures. Obviously I haven't seen the truck in person, but from what I saw in pictures, I don't see why that truck shouldn't be worth 40 grand. So yeah, no problem. Glad you called, Z-Bear. Let's see. Yeah, their 95 went up for sale by Randy for 30. Yep, that's the reality of it, guys. I don't blame you, Brian. That's for sure. So I think we're going to see more and more of that, but that's why when I had a chance to buy that 04 Dodge, that's what I was thinking about when I unloaded that. So on to promo model for tonight. This one has a little bit of warpage, but it is from the 50s, so we almost expect a little bit of warpage from the late 50s. On this two-tone colonial white and willow green 1957 Ford Fairlane two-door hardtop. So obviously we can see some warpage in this car, but a lot of times, a lot of this 57, 58, 59 era promos, even up into a little bit in the 60, 61, we do see quite a bit of warp in. When we got into 62, 63, 64 models, don't see quite as much as we saw in the late 50s, but pretty common to see warp in some of these late 50s era promos. Obviously has a green top as well as the lower green and the willow green with the white upper surfaces on the hood and deck lid. This one not in bad shape. Bumper's not broke. Hood ornament's still there. Rear bumper, there again, some chrome loss, but it's not broke. The taillight lenses are there. This one does have a full interior, if you guys can see that in there. As opposed to some of these in this area, which are just basically empty. All the original tires and hubcaps on this 57 Fairlane. And the bottom, this one is a metal-based car, not the plastic ones. Adam's digging the color. Yeah, it's a good piece. This is not a friction. Neither one of these are a friction axle. But still a pretty decent promo. But you can definitely see the warps and the lines on this thing. But other than that, pretty darn nice. Yeah, it does kind of look like it got rear end and pushed the rear down. There's Alex. Glad you're here. Again, a great promo. Thanks, Jim. I'm robbing some out of Dad's shelf right now. So he's got a bunch we haven't seen yet either. So these last couple, and he's got several more. I've been snagging some of his to share with you guys. How about some badges and caps? Tonight's cap is super cool. Two-tone cars need to come back. Good idea. First off, we're going to start with a grease cap. We're going to go pre-war on this one. I couldn't find anything on this. I could not find hardly anything on this grease cap. But we're going to talk about this company a little bit, and then which will kind of help explain why. We're going to talk about the Chandler. A group of businessmen, including F.C. Chandler from the Lozier Motor Company, came to Cleveland in 1913. So let's keep that in mind, just in case we may see that in here. So remember the Lozier Motor Company in 1913, in case it might be in there. There may be information about it. To build their own motor car. The company was initially called Amis Motor Company, so we'll have to keep in mind out here if we hear anything about Amis. I do have a red 70 GTO hardtop promo, Tony. We looked at it a long time ago, but we did look at it one night. But I do have a red on red 70 hardtop promo for a GTO. And obviously, and I am back on the greatest website, AmericanAutoEmblems.com, which I always encourage you guys to go there so you can check this stuff out. The Chandler was a medium-priced 27 horsepower, 6-cylinder automobile and was initially offered as a touring limousine or coupe. The Chandler was an immediate success with the first-year sales of over 2,700 units. The Chandler became a popular and well-regarded automobile, with sales continuing to grow each year, as the range of body styles also grew. The best production year was 1926, with over 20,000 Chandlers built. The company set up the Cleveland Automobile Company in 1919 to build a smaller and cheaper companion car called the Cleveland. In 1926, this subsidiary was absorbed into the Chandler Cleveland Corporation, but there were serious problems in the management of the company. In 1928, the company was absorbed by the Hupp Motor Company, and Chandler production was stopped after 1929. So, let's see. Any full sets of 57 Ford or 55 Ford hubcaps? Thinking about original steel wheels for my 72 Ford. I would have to see what I had. I may have. I would just have to do some looking. So if you want to give me a shout, I get you on my list tomorrow, and then I'll see if I've got anything like that. So Chandler basically went broke in 28, was absorbed by Hupp, and they made some Chandlers into 1929. Now, if you go to AmericanAutoEmblems.com, you will see most Chandler badges were of a bow tie shape, of various different colors. That's what the bulk of them were. But as I got down to the very end of the Chandler badges, I finally saw what I was looking for, which matched my grease cap. So the grease cap we have right now is for the probably extremely low production, last year of production. And like we talked about, Chandler was a 6-cylinder car. Well, they did eventually add an 8-cylinder towards the bottom or towards the end of production. Adds. So, the grease cap tonight, and like I said, when I looked up Chandler grease cap, I could not hardly find anything on this, is for the 1929 Chandler 8. Check this thing out. This thing is amazing. Now, 29, their last year of production, already been absorbed by the Hupp Motor Company. Obviously, Hupp probably not pushing Chandler very heavily. Obviously, production was down. The company was not making money. More than likely, Hupp absorbed them for manufacturing facilities, dealership bodies, things like that. So not a lot of 29 Chandler stuff out there. That's why I couldn't find this grease cap. This badge was what was used for the grill badge on the 29 Chandler. This one, obviously, for an 8. They made a different badge for the 6. Could not really find anything about the cap. No, I don't want to sell this one. It is a fine piece of jewelry, Kevin. That's true. This Chandler cap is a little bit bigger as well. It's 4 3/4 in diameter, so this thing's almost 5 inches across. So it's a good size grease cap. The hex part of it is about 3 inches across here, across the hex part. The Chandler badge is added to it. You can see where it's riveted on, and we can even see on the back, if we look closely, where the little rivets come through on the back. It just matches the grill badge. I don't know if that's what they were going for, was to make it look like the radiator grill, but this part does match the badge for 1929. Both a 6 and an 8, so probably a few thousand cars made, something like that. But not a very common piece. You Google Chandler grease cap, and there's lots of them that pop up, and I couldn't find any of these. And everybody's still trying to buy it. So I was definitely excited to add this one to our collection. And like I said, a couple weeks ago, I got some more great grease caps. So we've got some really cool ones coming up. But this thing, I was like, wow, this is just definitely one that stands out. And I knew you guys would enjoy it. And we've got a lot more cool ones coming up to share with you as well. Yep, I know you guys got to try. I don't blame you. I'd be doing the same thing. Oh, Alex found it. Perfect. Less than 200 8s were made. So, put that into perspective. I was figuring they maybe made a couple thousand, Alex. I appreciate you finding that. That's awesome. Alex is on the spot tonight. Less than 200 8s were made. So that explains why I couldn't find this. Yeah. That's right, Rusty Okie. Alex is not helping you out. So if you figure they made 200 of them, there's 4 per car, that's 800 of these. So there again, a pretty cool piece. And like I said, I did a little bit of research on it, but obviously Alex found some stuff that I didn't, and really made sense why you can't even find this thing when you Google Chandler grease cap. So good point, Grant. I've been a little lacking there. I need to get a hold of you sometime this week too, Grant. Check in with what your schedule is for the 20th. So glad you're here tonight, but I keep meaning to call you and I keep forgetting to. So, but that's the first one. Were they a Detroit company? Cleveland. A group of businessmen, including F.C. Chandler from the Lozier Motor Company, came to Cleveland in 1913. So that's what we got for the first one. Brown's cars, yeah. And now we're going to jump up a few decades to another emblem. We're going to give you an Auburn. In fact, we're so far behind on those, we're just going to give you the Chug badge. We're going to give you the Chug badge. There we go. But jumping forward several decades, Alan's here. Glad Alan made it. There's Dean. It's always fun doing these. There goes number 1. Chug. This one's for our Pontiac fans out there. I think Tony's still on. For a mid-60s Le Mans with the 326 in it. Pretty common on 65, 66, 67 era Le Manses. Nice looking piece. Obviously looks amazing on the back as well. Good red paint. Well, Tony's on here. He's a Pontiac fan. This new 326 badge, these were 5 1/4. It's a little bit offset, so we take from the far out of the 3 and the far out of the 6. It's about a 5 1/4 inch long emblem. These typically mounted on the front fenders. Yeah, they didn't make them for a lot of years. 3 or 4 years is about right, number 1. 3/4 of an inch tall. So, yeah, and I really haven't thought about that. And they did use them on a few Firebirds as well. Those typically set it on the hood. This, I believe, this is being a flat one, and it's about the right size for a Le Mans front fender on the 326. So, beautiful piece. It's always fun dumping them out of the GM box. But not quite as flashy as our first piece tonight, but still a nice piece. So that's what we've got for tonight for badges and caps. The 1929, and as we now know, thanks to Alex, Chandler 8 off of a car that there were less than 200 of them made at the very, very end of Chandler production. Grease cap. And the new old stock 326 Pontiac. Story time. Let's check out a car from the past that Dad used to have. That grease cap came from an auction a couple weeks ago. In fact, the video I just put up the other day is where it came from. I don't remember how much of that stuff was in the video when we were walking the trailers, but I did put that video up from that auction this week. Was it Friday night? I think I did it on Friday night. I put a video up from that auction. Mainly just walking around checking out the trailers. But I did get a handful of just absolutely amazing grease caps there. And we're going to keep doing so. I don't know if it's the most valuable, but with the grease cap, I've got a grease cap that I've paid more for than any other grease cap I've ever bought. We may do that on Toy Tuesday. I want to get a little more research done because I've got some pieces that are related to this other grease cap in my collection. So I want to do a little bit more research. And if I get my research done, either this Toy Tuesday or maybe next Toy Tuesday, we will talk about that grease cap that I paid more money for than I've ever paid for a grease cap in my life. So anyway, let's catch some story time. And we're actually going back to cars that I don't even remember. This is stuff that Dad had. This is one of Dad's old scrapbooks. This entire book is cars. These cars were primarily from 70. He owned these cars in the mid-70s, probably 72, 73 to 78 is when Dad owned these cars. So, the one we're going to check out tonight, these pictures aren't staying in these pages very well, so we'll see if this is going to work. On this 1972 Oldsmobile Delta 88. Let me know if you guys can see those. I may have to take them out. It may be too blurry. 7288. This is a regular four-door sedan, but this is back when Dad would do a lot of flip cars. Buy one he could, do a little work on, maybe do a little paint work on, do some mechanical work on. A lot of things back then. Timing gear and chain would go out on them. Fender bender type stuff. But Dad flipped a lot of cars back then, and that's what we're going to see a lot of in this book are cars like that. So this is a 72 Olds. This was probably in 77 or 78. This was not a very old car. And when you think about it, you think, well, that's almost a new car by today's standards. But you got to remember back then, 10 years was about typical use of a car. This thing was already halfway through its lifespan. Now, we know today a lot of people will run a car 10, 15, 20 years. But back in the 70s, 80s, even up into the 90s, anything prior to that, 10 years was about it, and they were considered worn out. And then you had to overhaul engines and things like that major. So this was, at that time, probably halfway through its life cycle as a used car. But another one that Dad fixed up, spiffed up, and flipped back in the day. Now, these pictures were taken at the house when I was a real little kid. We moved from this house in 79. So a lot of these pictures, especially the first part of this book, are all going to be super early stuff. Buick man remembers his dad had one. So there again, something kind of different, something today that you don't think much about, but kind of a unique car for story time tonight. That car, I don't remember. Don't remember a thing about that car. But like I said, I was in the 3 or 4 year old window at that point. Yeah, that's true. Number one, back then, if you had a 10-year-old car, you were the 5th out of 6 kids, and you had to take care of it because you still had one more kid to get to it. That's exactly right. And that's another good point, Alex, because of the gas prices. Those full-size cars, we're getting dumped for people trying to look for better fuel economy. That's another great point. So that catches us for story time. How about the raffle? Who got into the raffle? Like we talked about last week, this is it. Check this baby out. Custom-made V8 sign out of license plates. And a few other miscellaneous things mixed in there. A couple of wrenches, spark plugs. So kind of some cool stuff mixed in with this piece. Adam's parents had an 82 Buick wagon with a 5.7 diesel. Guess what? Speaking of 5.7 diesels, I actually got a new old stock cylinder head for a 5.7 diesel today. Yeah. What do you think of that, guys? Yeah. And you're all saying, yep, you got another boat anchor. But actually, Tractor Mike is our resident diesel expert on 5.7 and 6.2s. They do still have several of them at Strauss Farms, including a diesel Monte Carlo and a new old stock 5.7 engine in the crate, just in case they need one for one of their 5.7s. So anyway, that's the raffle piece for tonight, or for this month, excuse me, giving it away at the end of April on that killer custom-made V8 badge. Now, who got in this month or this week? Zach Thompson, Big Job, Austin McCoy, Adam Briggs, James Cody, Pete Winters, and then, of course, Lee Carr and Tweedledee, who got theirs from the bonus drawings out of last month's raffle. So that's what we've got in the raffle can as of now after the first week. Now, how about a bonus raffle? Let's give away another set of those headsets that Leo donated. We've given away a handful of these. We've still got several to go. For you guys that listen on headphones, Leo traded for a whole case of these, sent them to me to send out to you guys. So if we draw your name, you've already got one, let me know and I'll find something else for you. But as of right now, we've still got some of these we're going to give away, and this is all courtesy of Leo. So keep that in mind. We always want to thank Leo out and thank all you guys that support what we're doing on here. So let's yank a name out of here. And remember, bonus drawings do not ship by themselves. They ship with your next shipment. And we're going to yank a name out of here. Adam Briggs. So we're going to put Adam's name on these. Oh, and before we forget, I still got this out. Let's write Adam's name on here. Make sure we get that back in the can. Got Adam's name on those. Did you get one already, Adam? If you do, if you did have a set of these, I'll send you something else if you want. So just let me know. Or if you want an extra set in case yours get lost or stolen or somebody else in your house takes them. You do want these, Adam? You want another set for you? If you want them, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, you just let me know. So, but as always, these bonus drawings do not affect you in the main raffle. So, Adam's name goes right back into the big Buick oil can for the raffle, since these don't hurt you a bit for that. Oh, perfect. Adam gave his other ones to his kids, so works out great. All right. I guess that brings us to auctions. Who's ready to do some auctions? Got some cool stuff tonight, so let's get all this stuff picked up and get regrouped. Oh, pass it on? Okay. Sounds good. We'll figure something else out and throw it in your next box, Adam. So anyway, it's getting hot in here. Let me get my sweatshirt off. I still got my little space heater plugged in, and it's kind of warm in here. Perfect. Glad those got there. All right. Okay. Tractor Mike put an aftermarket turbo on a 5.7 in the early 90s. They didn't want him cruising Maine because they weren't worried about his tires smoking, but he still smoked out the street. So there's Leo. Yeah, well, I've got a space, just like a radiant space heater, not like one that with a fan, just one that just has a radiant that I keep plugged in throughout the winter. And I haven't unplugged it. It kept getting cold again in the morning last week, so I've had it plugged in. I just haven't unplugged it. So anyway, auction time. Alan from Arizona is here. All right, perfect. The ads are over for Dirty. And we're going to get ready to get rolling on auctions. As always, I know most of you guys have been through this 1,000 times, but we're going to go over it again in case we got some newbies. And by the way, welcome to all of our newbies. And thanks for joining us. But when we do auctions on here, we will take an item. We will show it to you. We'll talk about that car. We'll show you any defects in the particular piece. We may give you some dimensions on it so you have an idea what size it is of what we're talking about. As we're showing you the piece, if you're interested in it, go ahead and throw a bid out there so I know that I've got interest in that particular piece. After we get done with the description, Devin's new kid on the block. Glad you're here, Devin. Thanks for speaking up. Always appreciate new guys that stop by and hang out with us. After we get done with the description, we will put it on a timer. I've turned it right here on my phone. I keep my phone right here on the corner of the screen so I can keep an eye on comments at the same time as I'm watching my phone. So we will go 2 minutes. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed, and I will tell you when 1 minute 30 seconds has passed. When we hit that minute 30 mark, it is time to be thinking about your maximum bid. Everybody has a delay on here. Some people it's 5 seconds, some people it's 30 seconds. Depends on, obviously, your internet provider as well as your device. Smart TV, smartphone, tablet, PC, things like that. That all affects it. So when I tell you there's a minute 30 gone and only 30 seconds left, it is time to be thinking about throwing your maximum bid out there on that particular piece. We've got some really good snipers on here. There was a couple things last week that got decided between 158 and 200 on time. So some of these guys are good. So if you're thinking about that, you're pretty serious about it, it might be time to throw that knockout bid out there. And that does happen. We had some guys last week come out swinging, threw a number out there and took out their competition before the thing even started. So bear that in mind too if it's something you're really excited about. Everything tonight, shipping will be included on. Nothing real big or bulky tonight, so shipping in the 48 states will be included on all the items tonight. If you're a non-U.S. bidder, you are more than welcome to play. However, you will have to get me paid, and you will be responsible for shipping out of the U.S., which is typically a money wire and then non-U.S. shipping. Reason being, this thing kind of feeds itself, and if we spend several $100s shipping a couple boxes out of the country, then it kind of screws up the auctions for everybody. So bear that in mind, but you are more than welcome to play. Check, money order, PayPal, friends and family, Western Union, any of that stuff is fine to pay me. And as always, especially for some of our new kids on the block here, if you see something pop up that you think is cool and you want to bid on it, go right on ahead. That's fine. Even if you're not sure what to do to get it all handled, my phone number is in the description part of this video. So if you get a bid and you win something and you're still not sure what to do, just call me tomorrow. It's not a problem. I've got a funeral in the morning, but tomorrow afternoon or whatever, just give me a shout and we'll get it figured out. Not a big deal. So don't worry about it if you're not quite sure, but you do want to bid, you can always give me a call after the fact and we'll get it straightened out. So anyway, I got some really cool stuff tonight. I hope you guys dig it. Got a little sign, a little custom made sign, got grease caps, got license plates, got badges. Where to start? Actually, I found this. I want to share this with you guys. It's modern, but I want to know if you guys like it or not. I just found it in a box of auction stuff, and it ain't really my style, but it's kind of neat. And I wanted to share it with you. So if nobody bids on it, that's fine. I don't care because it is a modern piece. I'm going to tell you this was probably made within the last 20 years, probably in Taiwan. I think it says Taiwan, something like that. But it's a solid brass coupe. So Jess has an ad. Tell me what you think of this. If you don't like it, we'll go on to something else. But I found it in a box. I didn't know what to do with it. I thought I'd share it with you. Let's see. Looks like we're coming back from ads, so we can go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm getting some backs. What do you think of this thing? It does say solid brass, so I mean, it's probably worth $5 to Glenn and weight. But it's just an old coupe. It's not an extremely detailed piece. It is a two-piece body, modeled after an old cast iron toy in its somewhat crudeness, two-piece construction, but made out of solid brass. Has a screw in this side that screws the two pieces together. The tag on it, so I mean, it's obviously modern, but it does say it is solid brass. So you guys tell me if you think this is cool or not. I just had it laying here, and I was going to share it with you. See what you think. It's about 5 inches long. Adam's starting us off at 10. So about 5 inches long. Pete said there was a cast iron. Glenn says 10. All right, well, we've got a little bit of interest. I got Adam at 10 and Glenn at 10. Glenn at 15. So we'll go ahead and roll this. Rusty Okie at 20. What decade did they make? I don't know. They made brass cars in the 1900s and the early teens. This was probably made in like 2008. I don't know. Glenn at 25. Alex at 35. Justin Fireball's on with us. So I said, it's kind of neat. I didn't know what I would do with it. I'm glad some of you guys like it because I want it to be put to use somewhere. It is shiny. Shiny, shiny. Brass air until 14. Thanks, Alex. One minute gone. 1 minute left to go. Alex at 35. It is fairly heavy. I didn't weigh it, but I bet it weighs a couple pounds. That it would, Glenn, that's for sure. $1:30, minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Alex at 35 as we're coming down to the end of this one. And that does it. Alex at 35. Oh. So it is kind of a neat piece. Like I said, I just didn't know what to do with it. So, okay, we're going to do another can, kind of a different can. There again, kind of starting off with a couple of cheaper items. And I don't know if you guys are going to dig these or not. I've got various ones of these. I got probably a whole box of these, but they're all different. But I want to see what you guys think of them. They're old service station related stuff. This one from the Dover Company. 1 quart of liquid. Check this thing out. Old school galvanized pour spout 1 quart can. I think they're kind of neat looking. I don't know if you guys dig these or not, but this is all stamped into the metal. The other side had something stamped in it, but you can't really make much of it out, and it wasn't as big a piece. Had a lip in here, and then, of course, the pour spout. Fairly well-made piece for this era, you know, but there again, a lot of service stations had these for various uses and kind of neat deals. This one is about 8.5 tall. Buick man remembers them. So anyway, you guys like this type of stuff? Not like this type of stuff? I've been wanting to show a few of them because I've got, like I said, a lot of different variations of these type of cans. Rusty Okie likes these. Okay. Jess 15. Like I said, I've got some cool stuff in this. I just wanted to get your guys' opinion as to whether or not this is stuff you would be interested in working a couple pieces of this type of stuff in here and there. They were great for catching the when you blew the side out of the cardboard can. Sounds like Glenn is speaking from experience there. Let me give you a dimension on the bottom of this here real quick. We got some bids coming in. 4 inches. Jess 15, Justin Hoff at 20, Dean at 22, Jess at 25. Okay. So let's get this on the timer on the Dover 1 quart spout can. Justin at 27. I think they're cool. I'm glad you agree, Alex. You know, you've seen them in old service stations. They were used regularly. Old school, metal, all metal. Ads. All right, let's hold up here for a second. Maybe it's just Jess, but I want to. Okay, it was back. Okay, we're back on the timer. Definitely from experience, the cardboard cans didn't hold the pup to puncturing with a spout. Yeah, and used for bulk oil for sure. 1 minute gone. 1 minute gone. 1 minute left to go. Justin at 27. And there's the minute 30 mark. A minute 30, 30 seconds left to go. Adam at 28. Adam at 28. We're at Jess at 30. Kevin at 34. We're about ready to wrap this one up. Kevin at 34. And that does it. Kevin at 34. Adam had a 35 in there that just popped up. All right. How about sliding the license plate in there? We haven't done one of these in a few weeks. These are always kind of unique. I've got some various ones, various years, various colors for our ham radio plates. This one, a little bit earlier, from 1960 on the ham radio. This is a standard roughly 6x12 plate. Same colors as the 1960 Kansas plate, white with blue letters. Backside of this plate looks great as well. WOVGS on the ham radio call sign. From 1960, obviously preparing for the centennial in 1961. But all these ham radio plates are unique and different. And this is a pretty decent one. Nick at 10. Nick starting us off at 10. And let's go ahead and get this one rolling. Martin at 15. And we're on the timer. Adam at 20. Yeah, it does have great color. We have Adam at 20. Martin at 21. Tractor Mike at 23. Mike just can't stay out of an auction. There's an auction. He's got to be involved. Tractor Mike at 23. Martin at 24. As we pass the 1 minute mark, just under a minute left to go. Good idea, Kenny. Tractor Mike, 25. A minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Adam at 25. I had Tractor Mike first. I got Adam at 25, or Tractor Mike at 25. We still got a little bit of time left. I bet there's a 26 out there somewhere to break that tie up. Martin at 26. And we're getting close to the end. And there's Adam's 26. I had Martin first at 26. Austin at 27. And that does it. Austin slid that 27 in there right at the 159. Nick had a 28. But I had Austin at 27. Tony at 28. I had Austin at 27 and I hit 200. Let's get our first grease cap for tonight. We got some cool grease caps tonight too, guys, by the way. How about one for our bow tie fans? This is a fairly common one, but this is, there again, you're worried about the script to make sure it's nice, clear, and legible. And that's what is a win on this Chevrolet cap. Like I said, definitely not a rare grease cap, but we're not clobbered right here, right where that bow tie is at, right where you want to see it. In fact, you could even paint that background blue and really make that Chevrolet lettering pop out. And a lot of these didn't say Chevrolet, come to think of it. I think most of these just had the bow tie. This one, 3 3/8 in diameter. This had the hex behind the round part where you could get a wrench on it. Obviously, internal thread, as most of these were. Nut farm at 20. And the face is pretty much flat on this. So, yeah, kind of a cool piece for our bow tie fans. We've got nut farm at 20, and let's get this thing on the timer. Nice. Sounds good, Austin. Adam at 25 on the cap. Coming up on the 1 minute mark, I've got Adam at 25. That it would, Glenn. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Adam at 25. Nut Farm 26. Justin 27. Nut Farm at 30 as we hit the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left to go. Nut Farm at 30. As we're coming down to the end on this one. Getting ready to wrap it up. I've got Nut Farm at 30 unless we got a sniper out there. Justin at 32. And we did have a sniper out there. Justin at 32 slid that baby in at about 157. Justin at 32. All right, let's catch something else cool. I like these two. We did one of these a while back. I think Pete got one of these a year or two ago. But great looking piece, and these are neat. On this Buick horn button. The badge website, AmericanAutoEmblems.com. Check this baby out. Look at the shine on that. Great colors. This is a plastic center. You can see where this is all molded into the plastic. Yep. Justin at 25. Yep, Rocky did build that for me. Jess at 45. This is, let me give you some dimension on this, almost 4 inches. It's a tick under 4 inches on this Buick cap. So, looks like I've got Adam at 30, Justin at 25, but I've got Jess at 40. So good looking piece. You can see the shine on it. This is a pop metal chrome base, or chrome bezel, excuse me. Clips are there for this 1951 Buick horn button. Let's get this thing on the timer. We've got Jess at 45. So either Jess knocked everybody out at 45 or everybody is reloading and sighting in. Oh, Jess is unsupervised tonight. Okay, that could be interesting. The voice of reason, Rico, isn't there to keep her reeled in. So we hit 1 minute, 1 minute gone, just under a minute left to go. Jess at 45, and man, it has been crickets on this thing. Shopcat's here. 1:30 is gone. 30 seconds left to go. Jess at 45. Justin at 46. Jess at 55. Few seconds left to go. Jess at 55. It's a beautiful one, John. And that does it. Jess at 55. And, of course, the obligatory boo from Tractor Mike. As everybody else congratulates Jess, Tractor Mike has to get his boo in there. So. There's Totally VW. Okay, something a little bit different. We've done some of these. I think this is the last one I've got for right now. But we've been having some fun with these. You guys have liked them, thought they were pretty cool. On some of these old beer cans. Now, this one's not as old. It has a barcode on it, and it is aluminum. So I'm guessing this is probably late 70s, early 80s. But it is weird. It is an original Red Cap ale can. And look at the top of this. It's aluminum, but it had a punch out. It does have Red Cap on both sides, but like I said, it does have a barcode. So it's probably 40 years old, maybe. 12 ounces, Carling National Breweries, Baltimore, Maryland on the side. Yeah, this one, Tractor Mike already got a hold of this one. That's true. Extra hole for shotgunning. That's what it was for. So, last beer can I've got on the shelf, I think, for right now, but we'll see what else I find in the future. What do you guys think about? Oh, let me give you the size on this one. John at 10. 4 3/4 tall on the little red cap. Let's get this thing rolling. I got John at 10. Speaking of beer cans, actually, since Shopcat brought it up, speaking of shotgunning, dun, 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 it's the Big Auburn badge. It is wicked cool for a man cave. That's true. Those were short-lived can tops. I don't ever remember them. Only used that for a couple of years. That would make sense because I don't ever remember seeing anything like that. Double chug episode, not doing yard work tomorrow. Good idea, number one. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. John at 10. Might be snipers waiting in the wings. I don't know. I don't know how rare these are. Probably not that rare. It's just a cool piece. And a minute 30's gone. Only 30 seconds left. We'll see what's going to happen. Kevin at 15. I think Kevin did get one of those other beer cans a while back. Kevin at 15. Just about ready to wrap this one up. We're coming down to the wire. And that'll do it. Kevin at 15. How about another plate? I think this thing is used, but man, it looks new. If I look hard enough, I can see a little circle around the hole, but this might be Newell stock. Okay, sounds good, Shopcat. I do have a funeral in the morning, so it'll be try after lunch. I'm not sure. I think it looks new. It's not Kansas, but Kevin still has a collection when he was a kid. Sweet. Ads. That's okay. We'll go ahead and look at this. We won't get it started yet if we do have a few ads out there hanging. 1973 Kentucky. Jefferson. I assume this is Jefferson County. But look at this plate. Look at the back of this plate. It's not in an envelope. I looked really hard. I looked super hard. And if you get the light just right around these upper holes, it almost looks like there was a circle around them, like there was a screw right there, almost. But I'm not going to tell you it's Newell stock, but it sure looks like it could be. Jefferson, I assume that must be like Jefferson County. I don't know. Roughly 6 by 12, regular standard size plate. Obviously not bent up, beat up, twisted up. But good looking plate. Calico Classics is here. Kenny still needs a 71. I need to make a note to get one of those out. Alex at 25. 73 North Carolina. I don't know what I've got. I don't think I've got much North Carolina. Adam at 10, but I got Alex at 25 over here as we kick on the timer on this one. Adam at 26. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. I've got Adam at 26 on the Kentucky plate from 1973. I wonder if we can see our timer in this thing. We get the light just right. We do that sometimes. We get the angle right. You can kind of make out the timer in that one. Too many numbers on that one. We don't have a big blank area to really work with on that one. Coming up on the minute 30 mark. Tony at 28. And there's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left to go. So Jefferson is a county. Louisville's the county seat, said Weston. I've got Tony at 28. As we're getting close to the end on the Kentucky plate, Tony at 28. There are 30 out there hiding around. Kenny at 31 at the 200 mark. Holy cow. It was there. And Adam had the 30, but it didn't. It was too late. Kenny at 31 at 200. Adam at 30 at about 203. So, whew, that was tight. All right, time for another grease cap. Great video on the Bentley rescuing a 36 four-door. Okay, yeah, I didn't know much about that car. Doug Prey found that and thought it was pretty cool, so thought we'd do some content on it. Let's get another grease cap worked in. Let's get a Hudson badge out there. And this is another cool one. I don't know if Jess is still on or not. Maybe we should hide it from her. She's probably got this, actually. On this Nash grease cap. Sounds good, Justin. We'll see you later. This is kind of different. This had 2 nubs in it for a spanner wrench to get a hold of. This is all stamped in or cast into the cap. Outside rings in it. Randall at 30 with a nut farm. It is a fairly deep cap. They give you some dimensions on this one. It's a little over 2 inches just in depth. It is 3 3/4 in diameter. And it is, of course, internal thread. It is aluminum. You can actually see this is all cast into it. Pretty decent piece. The Nash is all nice and clear in here. Obviously, you can still read the lettering. The outside rings still look good. Pappy's heading out, so. But neat looking piece. So we've got the nut farm at 30. We're going to kick this thing off on the timer and get rolling. Oh, and we got a really cool sign coming up. It's a small sign, but it's really cool. So bear that in mind. Something totally different. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Only 1 bid on this thing. Nut farm out there swinging at 30 right out of the gate. One minute gone. 1 minute left to go. People could be loading. You might be right, Kevin. It's awful weird to only have 1 bid on something this cool. Minute 30 gone. 30 seconds left. Okay, we got ads. We're going to stop right now because we're right at the 30-second mark. So I want to make sure we're clear. Okay, we're clear. 30 seconds left to go. It was just 1 quick ad. 30 seconds left to go. Adam at 32. Adam at 32. We're coming out of the wire. Adam at 32. Dean at 34. Tony at 40. Nut Farm at 35. Sam at 35. I got Tony at 40. And that does it. Tony at 40. Things got a little hairy there for a second. Glenn at 42, a little too late, but I had Tony at 40 at the 2 minute mark. Had bids coming from all over on that, but it was cool. All right. How about a super cool badge? In fact, I'm going to polish this one. I don't even show you this one yet. I got to polish it up a bit. Something for our Chevy fans. I did repaint the bow tie on this one, just so you guys know. But it is a cool piece. For our Chevy fans, how about this 1950? Kenny's already at 15. 1950 Chevrolet Deluxe front hood badge. Now, I did repaint the blue and the red on this. It does have pitting in it. It is not broken. It's not chipped. It is V'd because it goes on the front of the hood. Mounting studs are there. Neat looking piece. I mean, if you're a Chevy guy, this is a pretty unique piece. 1 year only deal. Just this one does have some pitting in it. So, size. This is kind of big, so not huge, but it is a little bit bigger than usual. Adam at 30. 15 inches, 2 3/4. So 15 inches, 2 3/4. Got Adam at 30. Like I said, I did repaint the red and I repainted the blue. Some of these I do, some of them I don't, but this one I did just because it makes it pop so nice. Nice bright chrome. It does have some pitting in it, but pretty cool piece for a Chevy guy. And being a 1 year only piece, not one that a lot of people will recognize immediately, even for a Chevrolet piece. So let's get this on the timer. I've got Adam at 30, which I can't imagine we're near done on this one, but it's a neat piece. So custom sign coming up here pretty quick. Adam at 30, kind of like the last piece. Everything's real quiet. So we just passed 30 seconds, so I guess that means we're going to sit here for another minute before anybody bids again. I'll be dipped. Yep, it's cool. Drum roll, yeah. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go, and absolutely nothing happening. Other than some hearts. I like the hearts and fireworks. That's cool. Adam at 30. Justin at 35. Dean at 31, but I got Justin at 35. As we hit the minute 30 mark, 30 seconds left to go. Justin at 35. Adam at 40. Adam at 40 as we're coming down to the end. Is there a 50 out there for this thing? I don't know. Kevin at 42. Justin at 41, but I got Kevin at 42. Michael at 45. Michael Gagola at 45. And that does it. Michael Glagola at 45. Kevin out of 46 in there just a couple seconds too late. Michael Glagola at 45. Okay, super cool piece. I just got this yesterday. It's not big, but it is super neat, especially if you like trucks. I got 3 of these little signs yesterday. These are hand painted, probably done by a sign painter 50 or 60 years ago. Add. It's 8 inches by 8 inches, hand painted. All 3 of them I have are just slightly different because they were all done by hand. But this is out of a truck shop from probably 50, 60 years ago. Danger. Do not start truck mechanic working. Check this thing out. I've got 3 of them. Like I said, one for me, one for Dad, one for one of you guys. This one had 2 of them. This one doesn't have anything on it. This one probably had magnets because I've got one that does not have any holes in it that has little stick-on magnets on the back. The other one has 2 small holes, so it could have hung. So this is, probably, like I said, 30, 40, probably 40 or 50, maybe 60 years old. These were professionally done by a sign painter. You can tell by as clean as these are that these were done by somebody who knew what they were doing. Does have some scuffs and paint loss. 8-inch square, but like I said, fresh out of an old truck shop, and I thought they were super neat. So let's see. I've got a bunch of bids. Nut Farm at 45 is my high bidder. Let's get this thing on the timer and see what happens. Super cool. Like I said, it does not have a brand name on it or anything like that, but it is legit, real deal, old school, done by a sign painter type deal. Z-Bear at 50. Z-Bear, you're a pinstriper. You could probably make your own, but something original like this is super cool. Z-Bear at 50. Of course, you probably collect this stuff because it is in your wheelhouse. I'm betting is why I bet that's the deal, Z-Bear. Dennis at 55. Now, okay, that's why, because since you're a striper, you like to collect this type of stuff. Makes perfect sense. Nut Farm at 60. Yep, I can see that happening, Matt. That's what these signs were for. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Nut Farm at 60. One minute, 30 seconds gone, 30 seconds left to go. Bread and butter sign, easy, quick knocks that paid. Yep, that would make sense, Randy. Randy, our other resident pinstriper on here. Nut Farm at 60, about ready to wrap this one up. Adam at 65. And that did it. Adam got that one swung. Adam at 65. Like I said, this one would have had magnets. I've got another one that has magnets. And I have another one that had 2 holes. So they probably would stick them on the side of the truck, hang them somewhere. Adam slid that one in at 65 right at the last second. Like I said, I just thought they were super cool. That's why I snagged them. So that was a good shot. Adam slid that one in right there at the end and got it done. But I guess Adam's got sniped about 5 times tonight. So I guess he got somebody back on, got you guys back on that one a little bit. That was fun. That was cool. It was a neat piece. How about a can? We've done a few of these over the past. This is the last one I've got on the shelf, other than a couple that I kept for myself. So I'm not sure if I've got any more of these, or I mean, never know, I may find some more. But as of right now, this is the last one I've got on the shelf. We haven't done one of these in a while. They are a great looking can. I kept 2 of them for myself because these are such a sharp can on this, and it is dated 1971, so it is over 50 years old on this STP concentrated cooling system stop leak and sealer. These things are just awesome looking cans. The 2-tone blue, of course, the red and white STP logo. New STP. These cans are dated on the back. 1971 STP. It is painted on the can. Suggested retail price of $1.50. These were probably bought in bulk. And this one is actually priced at 92 cents. Big job. Glad you made it, big job. I did figure out what happened last week, though. You were on the Nobody Show Facebook page. Those are the comments I can't see. The Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page are the comments that I can see. So I did see your comments the other day, but it was on the Nobody Show page, which the computer does not feed me. So let me give you a size. This is a little bit smaller. Four and 3/4, 2 5/8, metal can. There's the seam, 53 years old, still looks great. Dented a little bit up here at the top, but the colors on these things just pop. So let's get this thing rolling. I've got Rusty Okie at 20. All right, just keep an eye out, trying to figure out what we should do next. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Rusty Okie at 20. A minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. That's it, Rusty Okie at 20. We're about ready to wrap this one up. It's about done. Kenny at 22. Just as it was hitting 200, Kenny at 22. That was another one of those tight ones. You guys are getting good, like super good. Of course, some of those are almost too good, so. All right, we're going to shift to something a little bit different. We did a couple of pieces related to this here a few weeks back. I've got some of these, another batch of these that I want to sell you. With the Meekum tag. Now, we sold a couple of pieces that I got out of the John Atzbach collection that we really didn't know where to put in our collection. That's the same collection that we got our original Cobra badge out of. That's the same collection where we did the videos on 5R002 right before it sold for like $3.4 million. And I've got a couple of pieces, and you're going to get the Meekum tag with these to show the John Atz. They came from the John Atzbach collection. Yeah, Kenny's next door. On these 1963, 1964 Greenwood race programs. You're going to get the pair of these with the tag from Meekum when I bought them several years ago. There was so much stuff in this collection that there were some pretty good deals on some stuff that fell through the cracks. So Addie and I bought a lot of stuff because there was so ungodly much of it that a lot of people were just not paying attention to some of it. So there's some of this stuff that Addie and I went ahead and got, but really never found a place to put it. Tractor Mike at 10. You're going to get the pair of these, and the Meekum tag will come with them. These do have some pretty cool stuff in them. Dean at 13. Tractor Mike, 15. Dennis at 25. Oh, check out the Skelly ad on the back. This program is also coming with it. That was the 1964 brochure. Let's take a quick look at the 63, and we'll go ahead and get this thing on the timer before we dig into this one. I've got Dennis at 25, and we're rolling. Souvenir program from 1963. Let's check out what's in this one. Seven Up. Check that ad out. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Dennis at 25. Oh, check this one out. Check out the Corvette. Dean at 26. And there's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left to go. Dean at 26. Probably bought one of these so far. Dennis at 35. Check out the Porsche ad inside the back cover. Dennis at 35. About ready to wrap this one up. Coming down to the end of the wire. And that does it. Dennis at 35. Sam at 38 just popped up. How about we catch another plate? How about we catch another 100-year-old plate? And it's not even Kansas. From the great state of Illinois, going back to 1924 for an original paint Illinois plate. Check this thing out. It does have a little bit of damage. It's got this is a little screw hole that somebody put in it. We can see it on the back a little more clearly. Black with yellow lettering. Obviously does have some paint loss and specking, but overall, considering this thing's 100 years old, not bad. 56 Oklahoma. I don't think I got any. I may have got some Oklahoma last couple weeks ago. I'll have to check and see. 20. I got Adam at 20. 13.5 by about 4.5. Rusty Okie at 25. So 13.5 on this one. Pretty cool plate. Decent paint on the back. 100-year-old, 1924 Illinois. I got Rusty Okie at 25. Rusty Okie. Oh, Dean at 27, Rusty Okie 28. You guys are bidding for you. I'm trying to write it down here. Dean 29. Rusty Okie 30. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Dean 33. Matt 34. A minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Matt at 34 as we wind this one down. Tony at 38. And that does it. Tony at 38. And there was Adam's 35 right after the fact again. So, okay. Let's catch one more grease cap tonight. This thing is rough. It is clobbered. But the mark is good. The marquee is clear. And these are hard to find. And I don't see them very often. So even though this one's whammoed pretty good, I don't think we've sold any of these. And the logo looks great on this late 20s era international grease cap. I mean, this thing is whammied right here. And it's torn right here. But the logo looks freaking amazing on it. It is 2 3/4 deep. Glad you enjoyed, Devin. We hope you come back. 2 3/4 deep. Nut Farm at 20. Okie at 22. 3 inches in diameter across the back. This is internal thread like all these are. The hex around the front. But man, these things are tough to find. And you just, at least the international part is nice, crisp, and clear. So let's get this thing on the timer. We've got the Nut Farm at 25. Sounds good, Devin. And can guys pay attention? We got a beautiful can coming up. Nut Farm at 25. And it all quieted down. So maybe everybody likes this one because it's too rough, or everybody's waiting to shoot here in a little bit. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Nut Farm at 25. This is late 20s. 6-speed special era. In fact, this might even be 6-speed special, something like that. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go on the International Grease Cap. Nut Farm at 25. About ready to wrap this one up. Coming out of the end. Nut Farm at 25. And that does it. Nut Farm at 25. All right, we're going to catch a couple more pieces, and then we're going to get on to the magazine. All right, where's our can guys at? Because you're going to dig this one. For our can fans, we got a can and a plate laid out here, and then if you guys want to squeeze some more in, let me know. But a couple more pieces laid out here as of right now. But for our can fans, check this baby out. Mobile Oil Special with the gold band on it. It does have it on both sides. This side is dented a little bit right here. Does have a little bit of fading in the gold. This was punched at the top with a spout. Rusty Okie 35. Bottom of it is still intact. This is an aluminum can. Does have the seam over here, but a beautiful looking quart can. This is a standard size quart. Looks great. And I know somebody's going to dig this one for their collection. So Rusty Okie at 35 on the quart. Let's get this thing rolling on the timer and see who else likes it, because I know I love it. I think it's a great looking can. Pete 49. Yeah, you're right. The red against the red Pegasus on the gold looks great on this can. It's sharp. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Pete at 49. One minute, 30 seconds gone. 30 seconds left to go. Pete at 49. And it's crickets. So I don't know what's going to happen, because this thing is a great looking can. I was excited about it. It was kind of crusty when I dug it out of the box, but when it cleaned up nice. Pete at 49 as we're wrapping things up and coming down to the wire. With a few seconds left to go, Pete 49. And that does it. Pete at 49. Pete knocked everybody out early. All right, let's catch one more plate, and then we'll kind of see what we want to do for the night. How about another Kansas plate? I think we've only done one Kansas plate tonight. Let's back this one up to 1938. Black, white letters, original paint, nice looking plate considering this thing's what, 86 years old now? Is that right? Yeah, 86 years old. This thing is flat. It's clean. The back is clean. The size is close to what we're used to, but seems a little bit different. This is a little over 12 by just under 6. Rusty Okie's got to bail off. Glad you were here. So this thing is a little bit over 12 inches and just under 6 inches. 53 was the county. Dash 378, Kansas, 1938. So, let's get rolling on the 1938 Kansas. Pratt County, Nick at 10, Tony at 10. Pratt County, says Tractor Mike. You checked it out for us. So, let's get rolling. We're live and on the timer. I've got Nick and Tony both at 10, but I'm pretty sure we're probably not done at 10 anyway. So, Adam at 20. Tony at 22. As we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute gone. 1 minute left to go. Tony at 22. Coming up on the minute 30 mark. And there it is. Minute 30 gone. 30 seconds left to go. Tony at 22. As this one ticks away, Tony at 22. Dean at 23. Tony at 24. Nick at 27. And that does it. Then Sam at 27. I had Nick at 27 first. Then Sam right as it went past 2 minutes. So Nick at 27. Sam was just a hair late. There was a lot of that stuff that was coming in a little bit late tonight, guys. So that happens sometimes. But we had Nick at 27 on the 38 plate. All right. What do you guys think? That's kind of what I was figuring on for tonight. We can do more. We can do less, whatever. Kenny Peterson's dad, Ken, is 85 today. So maybe he's hanging out with us. I hope if you're on with us, Ken, we hope you're enjoying the show. And we're glad Kenny's on here hanging out with us all the time, too. No, I actually didn't have any. I got one little tiny truck. Here's all I've got in here tonight. So didn't have much ready as far as toys, unless you want to do this little tiny truck, or I can go dig over there. But other than the brass car, I guess we sold the brass car. That was kind of a toy. We'll get some toys worked in for next week. So, okay. Let me regroup here in a little bit. Unless we want to do that little toy truck. Weston wants to do the little toy truck. Does anybody want to sell the little toy truck? It's one of those little Tonkas like we've been doing. It's up to you guys. I think it's a little Tonka. But it's one of those little ones like we've been doing, those 70s, 80s era. Yep, it's a Tonka. Toy truck. Austin says do the toy truck. Wes says do. All right, we'll slide one of these in. Adam says more. All right, we'll do this little toy truck. We've done several of these. I bought a whole box of them, and they're all similar, but they're all different, which is kind of cool. So, big farm truck from the 30s. Those stuff from the 30s is not. I've got over on my good shelves. We'll do this one more little Tonka real quick. Cheaper truck. You guys want to squeeze the toy in, so we'll slide this in. These little cab over style 70s era. The stickers are gone off the doors on both sides. However, this is a Tonka. Yep, we're getting ready to do the magazine next, Jeff. That's coming up here shortly. It does say Tonka on the bottom of it. If you guys can see under the front axle, it does actually say Tonka on there. So this is a Tonka truck, tandem axle truck, original tires and wheels, pretty decent paint. Grill's not busted out. Glass isn't busted out. It does have an interior in it. So, yeah, Jeff, we got another cool magazine coming up here shortly. About 4.5 inches long. So, this is the only thing that's laying here. I can go dig more out, but this is laying here. So, you guys wanted to at least slide one little toy in. So, that's what we got. That's what was laying here. That was what was closest. So, let's roll with it. What do you guys think? Obviously, nobody's excited about it because there's no bids on it yet. So, Austin at 5 on the little red toy Tonka truck. Kevin at 10. Dean at 10. So we got to have somebody break up the 10 because those came in at the same time. Literally. Austin at 11. X-Ray at 11. Adam at 10. Somebody's got to have a 15 out there and just clear this tie up. Austin at 12. Low miles on that truck. I'm sure it is. Good tires on it. You can still see the tread in the tires. Sam at 16. Sam over here at 15, but I've got Sam on Facebook at 16. There's probably a $20 bid in out there for this thing anyway, I'm betting somewhere. So obviously you can tell back here that it wasn't beat up too bad because typically 1 minute gone, 1 minute left. This is usually all scratched up if you were hooking trailers to them. Sam on Facebook at 16. Like I said, I bet I bought a dozen or 15 of these, this type, and every single one of them was different. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Different colors, different axle configurations, different brands. All this type of 70s era pressed metal truck, but all different brands and colors. Sam at 16 on Facebook. Coming out of the wire, we got a little bit of time left on this one, but not much. Sam at 16. And that does it. Sam at 16 on Facebook. Sam on YouTube came back at 17, but it was too late. All right. Fun night tonight with that, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. We had a lot of fun. We did some cool stuff. Sam's excited. Yeehaw. That's right, Sam. Congratulations. Glad you guys had fun. Appreciate the kind comments. Other Sam, congrats from Sam on YouTube. That's what's great, guys. All you guys are great. Great sportsmanship. We don't have a lot of hurt feelings, and sometimes these things get busy, and there's a lot of stuff popping up and a lot of stuff that comes in right after the time. But you guys are all great to work with, and I appreciate the sportsmanship and the camaraderie that you guys exhibit while we do these auctions, and that's awesome. So I super appreciate all you guys supporting each other, even when you get beat out, and we have a lot of fun, and it's great stuff. I love all this stuff just as much as you guys do, so it's fun being able to find it and then pass it along and add to your guys' collection. So, as you guys know from watching Toy Tuesday, I've got a lot of stuff that we think is cool. So when I can find extras, it's a great way to be able to pass it on to you. Z-Bear had fun. Awesome, great, awesome, man. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. But let's get back to our magazine. We've been working on this one for quite a while, and we've got a long ways left to go. But it is so great that we have to do it. Well, I try, guys. I do try to do a good job for all of you. I try to find cool things. I try to have diversity. I try to mix things up. I was a little light on the toys tonight, but and I know some of you guys like certain things. That's why I try to squeeze 2, 3, 4 things in of all the type of stuff we like. It's just tough to do it. Yeah, Tony got something tonight, so it does always feel good when you get one back. So that's awesome. And like I said, and I try to mix in stuff that you guys are all gonna like. Here's Johnny. It's still flattered that you guys even would consider what we do here, that of any sort of quality to compare me to Johnny Carson. But it's awesome. But it's all because of you guys, and that's why this all works, and that's why it comes together. And then just like it's entitled, it's a chat. If you guys weren't engaged, wouldn't be much of a chat. But we're gonna go back over 100 years to September of 1913 to the Automobile Trade Journal. As a lot of you guys know, we've been working on this. We catch sometimes 5 or 10 pages, sometimes 10 or 20 pages, depends on what we find. Tonight, we're not going to get through very many pages because there's a lot of neat stuff in here. Next week, we'll mix it up with something a little bit different. I'm still not selling the book, Glenn. Even at 140, I'm not selling the book. I told you guys I was going to sell it till Addie started looking through it. She's like, there is no way we're selling this. But going back over 110 years to September of 1913 to the Automobile Trade Journal. Tractor Mike is Ed McMahon. I'm good with that. Hudson Badge. Gabriel's here. Glad you're here, Gabriel. We catch this for a week or two, then we'll move into something different because there's so much stuff in here. And look how thick this thing is. Kevin's business card still in there, bookmarking it. First time we did this was the week Kevin stopped by, and I had his business card laying here. Used it for a bookmark ever since. Pete bought a 1918. Always got one of those ordered. Tractor Mike, also known as the sober guy. Where'd you come up with that at? I don't think they're insinuated that you were the sober guy. But there are 332 pages in this book. We're on page 76. So we'll probably be working on this thing the rest of the year as we catch a little bit. And then next week we'll move up to a different magazine to catch some of that and keep working this back in. Matt's got to jump off. Glad you were here tonight, Matt. So let's grab Kevin's business card and flip to page 76. Now, tonight, there's not a lot to look at. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize this when I looked at this last night. Holy cow. Guys, don't encourage him. You guys keep calling Tractor Mike the Studmeister, and he's going to believe it. You don't understand this. When you all get here next week, he is going to believe he is the Studmeister if you guys keep encouraging him. So, ka-ching. Yeah, right. See, I'm warning you. And you keep encouraging. There is one picture we're going to look at here that I hadn't even actually realized. I looked through a bunch of this stuff last night, getting a overview of these next few pages. So I knew what we were going to talk about, and I really did not even look at the picture. So we're going to talk a bunch tonight because there's a bunch of automotive industry news here in all these personal items and some very interesting things. Now, the people aren't going to mean anything to us, but hearing about these companies is going to be super cool. Now, I literally just noticed this. Last night, I focused on studying through this course. It was also 11 o'clock last night when I was doing this. But working through this text, looking for high points, looking for stuff that looked cool, did not even look at this picture till just now. This picture, factory of the Marathon Motor Works in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, who knows what that is? Who knows what is there today? I've been there a couple of times. It is amazing. Who knows what's in there today? Right here, the Marathon Motor Works, Nashville, Tennessee. That's right. Pete got it. Mike Wolf has his shop in there. Antique Archaeology. The American Picker Store in Nashville is in that facility today. It is beautiful in there. It is well worth checking out. They've restored some of the shops, the wood floors, the planking. There was a distillery in there. Absolutely amazing building. Well worth going to check out. Obviously you stop at Mike Wolf's shop, but amazing place. So Studmeisters wear overalls, no shirt, and rubber boots filled with petroleum jelly. Tractor Mike is the one wearing handcuffs. Now that is a little more accurate description, possibly. So anyway, let's get into some of the personal items. We may not get very far past this because I want to catch some of this stuff just to really put things into perspective. This is news going on in the there's Big Job's got sheep out there now. Things are going downhill fast. Personal items. Now, like I said, these names aren't going to really mean anything to us, but the companies is so cool because thinking about the companies that we're reading about and studying here in 2024, 111 years later. C.B. Rose has just been made engineer of the Veli Motor Vehicle Company, Moline, Illinois. Veli, V-E-L-I-E, Veli Motor Vehicle Company of Moline, Illinois. New engineer in place. G.H. Bryant has just been appointed advertising manager of the Veli Motor Vehicle Company, Moline, Illinois. C.D. Paxson, P-A-X-O-N, of Cleveland, Ohio, has become sales manager for the Enger Motor Car Company, Cincinnati. His office, however, will be in Cleveland. Enger Motor Company, E-N-G-E-R Motor Company. That's true. I forgot you bought 50 sets of vintage West Coast Chopper sunglasses at the auction a couple weeks ago. I forgot you bought those. S. Christensen will become advertising manager and field sales manager for the Vanguard Manufacturing Company of Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, it is. It's great, Z-Bear. Like I said, there's not a lot of cool pictures tonight, but it's so cool hearing about these companies and stuff that I wanted to catch some of this. H.E. Wagner, formerly with the Buffalo Electric Vehicle Company of Buffalo, New York, is now with the Nordyke and Marmon Company, Indianapolis, Indiana. A. Fry has resigned from the Studebaker Corporation because of ill health and has been succeeded by E.F. Warren, who will become chief draftsman in the Studebaker plant. Draftsman, not CAD, not anything like that. Draftsman, like slide rule, ruler, pencil, drafting table, draftsman. Hoover Holton, formerly general sales manager of the Empire Automobile Company, Indianapolis, Indiana, has resigned to do special territory work for the J.L. Handley Company. C. Fletcher Donaker, automobile editor of the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, has become a partner in the firm of the Rambler Motor Car Company, 1450 Bedford Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. The Rambler Motor Car Company which I'm pretty sure was a completely separate deal. It had nothing to do with the Rambler that came later through with Nash and AMC. But I think there was a completely separate Rambler company back in this era. John Steele, formerly chief engineer of the Olds Motor Works, Lansing, Michigan, is now connected with the engineering department of the Mitchell Lewis Motor Company, Racine, Wisconsin. M.B. Fletcher, manager of the Denver branch of the old Metzger Motor Car Company, has become the Detroit manager of the Findesen and Kropf manufacturing maker of the Rayfield carburetor. Okay, Alex is our resident expert on this early stuff. The Rambler was a completely separate deal from what became of the Nash Rambler, and they didn't make it. So that's what I was thinking. But R.P. Johnson, formerly manager of the Acme Machine and Harvester Company, Hutchinson, Kansas, has resigned to accept position of assistant manager of the Alco Sales and Service Company, Kansas City. Valine was John Deere's grandson. That's right. I did remember reading some. I think there's some of that in here. We haven't got to it yet, Weston, but yeah, that is correct. George Lau has joined the sales force of the Hartford, Connecticut Rio agency and will have entire charge of the truck department. He was at one time with the electric vehicle company, and his experience has been wide. Now, a name that we are familiar with. A.E. Peebles, who has been connected with the Philadelphia branch of the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company, so a name that we still know today, for some time, has become advertising representative for the factory in the Philadelphia territory. C.W. Matheson, for 8 years, chief executive of the company bearing his name, maker of the Matheson, Matheson cars, has formed an association with the Palmer and Singer Manufacturing Company as Western manager, in charge of the business from Pittsburgh to the coast. N.E. Wahlberg, formerly assistant to the chief engineer Berger of the Oakland Motor Car Company, Detroit, Michigan, has become chief engineer of the Durant Dort Carriage Company of Flint. Holy cow, my throat's driving me nuts. Great, that's glad you're here, Z-Berry. Glad you got to hang out. All right, we'll see if we can get any more here. My throat, I don't know what's going on here right now. F.W. High School, formerly assistant advertising manager of the International Harvester Company, has been promoted to the management of the department, succeeding M.R.D. Owings. M.D. McNabb, vice president of the Marion Motor Car Company, Marion, is now making his headquarters at Chicago, directing the affairs of the newly organized J.L. Hanley Company of Indianapolis. J.W. McDonald, formerly chief of the experimental department of the Brush Runabout Company, and later master mechanic of the Elmore Manufacturing Company, has recently accepted the position of master mechanic of the Chase Motor Truck Company. So check that out. We've got the Brush Runabout Company, the Elmore Manufacturing Company, and the Chase Motor Truck Company all rolled into that deal. All right. bring a big gulp. Bring a big gulp. Yep. 67 Superstock magazine. His neighbor did the fiberglass on the car. That's what's great about this stuff. All right, let's finish up this part. That catches the first page. Let's catch this page over here where the Marathon Motor Works picture is. And then we'll probably get ready to start winding this one down. Hopefully my throat holds in here for another 5 minutes or so we can get through these. George Meredith, designing engineer, is preparing a car to be used as a model by Indiana capitalists. The work is being carried on at the factory of J.H. Creston Company. Obviously, apparently nothing ever became of that one. Howard Coffin of Detroit, Michigan, has been granted 2 patents relating to starting devices for explosion engines, in which compressed air is utilized by a novel valve arrangement in securing the automatic starting of the engine. Have not gotten any dune buggies or projects like that lately at all. No, have not, number one. Edward Dake, General Superintendent of the Stuart Hartshorn Company, and Joseph F. Young of Sanford Street, Muskegon, Michigan, have perfected an attachment on an automobile carburetor that will allow the use of kerosene alone for fuel. The inventors now have a patent pending, and it is understood they are negotiating with the Standard Oil Company for the purchase of the invention. The attachment is the only one of its kind that allows the exclusive use of kerosene, which obviously we know now that never really took off. Power fuel. New branches. The Keaton Motor Company, Detroit, Michigan, opened a branch at Woodward Avenue. The Knight Tire and Rubber Company opened a direct factory branch in Kansas City. The Metz Company, which we've talked about on here at length, of Waltham, Massachusetts, has established a factory branch in Boston. The Moon Motor Car Company. The Moon Motor Car Company of St. Louis, Missouri has opened a complete agency, sales, and showrooms, as well as a large service station exclusively for its St. Louis customers at the plant, Main and Cornelia Streets, for the Moon Corporation. And one other interesting tidbit here. The Premier Motor Car Company, Indianapolis, Indiana, is increasing its capital to $1.25 million. It ended on one line, went to the next. I had to kind of make it out. They are issuing $750,000 in common stock and $500,000 in preferred stock. So there again, the more things change, the more they stay the same. We're seeing it page after page after page in this magazine. The stock situation, the supply situation, the suppliers, the electric vehicles. It's just crazy that. And that's what I'm so excited about as we work our way through this magazine. And I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. And sure seems like most of you are. But even though we're looking at something that is 110 years old, The more things change, the more they stay the same. So much of this stuff that we're looking at could be printed in a magazine from today. And that's what's awesome about it. And I agree with you, Randall. I agree with you, Nut Farm. Tons of great history. So I think at this point, we'll probably go ahead and wrap up. The next pages are going to be kind of the same thing. A lot of great, awesome industry news, no pictures. But I know there's a ton of cool stuff in here that we're going to want to spend a few minutes on and check out. And my throat, obviously, for some reason, is going haywire on me. So we will go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll get into some more of this next week or the week after. Maybe we'll slide a different magazine in as we kind of keep working our way through the September 1913 issue of the Automobile Trade Journal. So, what else is going on this week? I got a lot of stuff coming up, new video wise. Shot several. We had a beautiful day Thursday. I got some new inventory videos shot. And so I've got Pioneer Village stuff, new inventory stuff. A lot of good stuff coming up this week. So you're right, Scott. It's awesome learning. I mean, tons of great comments on both formats here of the magazine. And we get that every time. But it is amazing. But what's so crazy is it's literally the more things change, the more they stay the same, the more we look at that magazine. I definitely agree with you, Dirty. I love Pioneer Village as well. So we'll get a little more content up from there. We did have some audio issues, and Will sent me a note about it. And everywhere he said we had low audio, I thought back when I was shooting. And when I was shooting those segments, there were other guests in the area, so I was not projecting my voice like I typically do. So my mics weren't picking up as well. So we're going to have some sound issues coming up. And next time I go up there, we're just going to have to, try to shoot when there isn't anybody in that particular spot so that I can project and get my voice out there and pick it up a little bit better. So we will have a little bit of sound issues coming on that stuff, but obviously there isn't anything I can do about it now because it's my fault. I was trying to not talk as loudly when there were other guests in the area. So next time we'll just try to be a little more careful about that. So, but regardless, some cool stuff coming up. One on their computer display. They're actually building out a new display. So a lot of great stuff coming up there as well. But with that, I think we'll go ahead and put an exclamation point on episode number 206. We will be live Tuesday night. We'll do some Toy Tuesday. Like I said, if I get time to do a little bit of research on those couple of pieces, we'll dig into that. We also need to do a live from the cockpit. I promised you guys we would do a live Toy Tuesday from the cockpit here at some point. Need to get that scheduled in, as well as finish the video on the plane. I know you guys want to see the video of moving the plane. So, and there's the Johnny Carson comments. That's awesome, guys. I really appreciate that. So we'll get a video up tomorrow night, probably do another Pioneer Village. I've been feeding most of those on Monday. That seems to work out pretty well. And we'll get some new inventory up later this week. We'll catch Toy Tuesday. I will get the rest of that information to Pete. If you were on that email, we will have a new updated email with that stuff laid out coming out here in the next day or two. And that's right. A good way to put it, Kenny. We've got an awesome crew on here. We do have an amazing group on here. So glad you guys are enjoying it. And there again, Kevin says it's a great time. It's all because of you guys. That's what makes this thing tick. That's what makes it work. And as crazy as it sounds, we're less than 2 weeks away from the inaugural Gathering of the Nobodies. Hopefully it is the first annual. And it's going to be fun. I still can't believe you guys are spending your time and your money and the effort to come here and meet each other and hang out and see the yard. But it's going to be a fun weekend. Looking forward to it. It's really starting to come together. And, from your guys' support, some support that I've had here, the people stepping up, You bet, Dan. Glad you're still here. Dan's been around for a long time. Dan from Defiance has been hanging out with us for a long, definitely one of our longer ones on here, and glad you're still here as well. And all you guys, some of you have been here a few episodes, some of you guys have been on here for 3 or 4 years, and it's amazing. And I do try, like I said, you guys know I build this out. I do work this up Saturday night. I work on auction stuff. I try to have a diverse mix. I try to do a good job for you guys. So I appreciate the comments that you guys do enjoy it and appreciate what I do, because I do want to do a good job for you guys, because if you're going to take the time and effort to be here, then that's awesome. And I want to do a good job for you guys if you're going to take that time and dedicate it to being part of this group. With that, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll catch you live. Some of you live 7 o'clock Tuesday night. We'll get those other new videos up. We're going to keep working on the gathering. I've got a bunch of stuff to pick up at the yard. I need to move some cars around. Need to make a few extra parking spaces. Need to get some stuff picked up in the shop because the shops are a wreck. I have started on some of that, so I'm not completely behind. But we've got some cool stuff coming up, and definitely looking forward to the gathering. So stay in touch. If you guys have any questions, or you guys that are coming into town on that Friday or whatever, let me know. And we'll sure try to guide you however we can. And like I said, Charles plans on being at the brewery, waiting to greet anybody if I'm hung up and not quite done yet. So with that, we're going to call this one a wrap. Hope to see some of you Tuesday night, and we sure hope to see you all right back here, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, same bat station, for some more Sunday Night Live chat. Have a great week, everybody, and looking forward to seeing a bunch of you in less than 2 weeks. Thanks for watching tonight, everybody.